Hello, friends. Happy Thursday. I was about to say, what day is it? But it's Thursday. Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. How are you? Hopefully you are good. Hopefully we have some people tuning in. Just get everything set up here so I can figure out what's what. Okay, yep, here we go. Turn down the volume. And let's see, so that I can see your comments, although it seems to me I can never see them anyway. All right, that looks pretty bright to me. Trying an extra light. Oh my God, it totally looks like it's getting all paused again, but I don't think it is. Anyway, we are going to work with the New Horizons suite of products. So this is one of these things. I see something in the catalog. I'm like, oh my God, it is like the best. I have to have it. That is the one I love the most. And then I don't use it because I don't know, I'm saving it for something, which is ridiculous. So we are not saving, we are diving in there. We are going to start using it. And we're gonna do that here and we're gonna have some fun with it. So hopefully some people will join me and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay. If you have not noticed this suite in the catalog, so it is on page 42 and 43, and it has this amazing DSP. You have a stamp set and dies, you have ribbon, and you have these cute little embellishments that are like pebbles. Ribbon is Misty Moonlight and Petal Pink, and then like I said, stamp set and dies. So this whole suite is $107.50, and I'm gonna say you want the whole thing. And yeah, bump it up to $120, you get 2 celebration items. Bob's your uncle. Okay, I was playing around today and you will notice, I'm just gonna put this back in here. So this little guy in the corner is sort of what I was recreating. But the piece of paper is 6x6, right? And it's gorgeous. So I was loath to cut it, but if I want it to be a card front, I can't keep it that big. So I have cut it down and then I've done some modifications. But if you're wondering if that looks familiar, it is because it is in the catalog. So it does look familiar. But what I have done is I have done the fence like they did. I've added all the little pebbles like they did. I stamped the birds like they did. But then I thought, you know what? I want to do something else with this DSP. I don't just want to like literally slap this DSP on the front of my card. But you could. That is the beauty of this paper. It is so gorgeous. You can just put it on a cardstock and put a greeting on it and you're done. It's like that amazing. But I wanted to play a little bit. So I brought out the dies. Now, a couple things. Hey, Teddy, I wanted to point out. So for the fence, because I wanted it to look like it had been painted, I wanted to look like the bottom kind of, you know, it's dirty, it's in the dirt. So I took this DSP, which is this one here, from In Good Taste, the In Good Taste DSP that's in the annual catalog. And it's cool because it kind of looks like paint strokes, and then you'll see like the piece that I chose, it had like light brown at the bottom. So I purposely cut my fences, you can see, so that I had that brown. So to me, it looks really neat because you've got the texture and then you've got a bit of different shading. Now what I can see that they have done in the catalog, and so I'll show you what that looks like too, is they took this stamp and then die cut it out of the stamp. So that, I was trying to figure out how they had done that, but that's what they've done. So that is super clever as well. But don't underestimate some of this amazing DSP if you happen to have this In Good Taste. For your fence, okay? So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2 and I will make a fence so you can see that, is, I don't know if you can tell, but my fence is raised. So this trick we learned actually with a convention. And so what you do is you only put glue on the outer edges of the fence, and then you kind of push them together. So we will cut out a fence and I will show you what that looks like. But like I said, I wanted to add to this DSP. So I wanted to use the dies. So this die here is what gave me these details of the mountain. Now, you can layer it on top of this die for a detailed mountain, which if I wasn't using the DSP, I would definitely do that. So that will be a different card. But I just wanted to add something to, a little bit of something to this card where it already, you knew there were mountains based on the coloring in the DSP. So I've just added those. Like I said, I stamped the birds. And then this cute little die is these little trees. So I cut it out in Old Olive. These are an Evening Evergreen because these are the colors in this paper. But then I turned it over. So it's actually the back side of it, which you can tell if you know, but nobody else would really know that. And I have just added that in. So again, I've just added a little bit more texture and depth to this piece of DSP. It's gorgeous. It doesn't need anything. And then we're just gonna add a greeting. And this piece of DSP, I didn't want to make it any smaller. So it is a full card front, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So now I could put this on any color card base. So, you know, we can just put it right onto a white card base and there you go. Or you could put it on green, you know, whatever your preference is. That doesn't really matter, but it does need a greeting. So it definitely needs a greeting. But what I wanted to do is show you a couple of ideas and also to totally, we're just gonna write out case one of these cards from the catalog. So I've got some things that are similar to what they've done in the catalog. I'm not sure if this is what they've used in the catalog. I don't think so. So I'm looking at this card here in the bottom corner if you have your catalog or if you decide to go online. And what I have taken is watercolor paper instead of basic white. And just because it already has some texture to it. So I just kind of thought that would be fun. The other option is you take basic white, fine, or very vanilla, whatever color you want to use. You could even emboss it with something very, but I just thought this would be fun. So I can see now what color paper they used, and we are gonna do it slightly differently. Oh, I see what they did here. Okay. I think they used this as the background and they cut it right there. I might be wrong, but that's what we're gonna do. I know this paper is so gorgeous, so it hurts me a little actually inside to cut it, but we're going to. So I'm gonna cut it right on that sort of purple line. Yep, bleeding, I'm bleeding a little. And then this is gonna be too long, so we're gonna have to cut that. But that's fine. So we have a Misty Moonlight card base. And then as far as I can tell, they took a paper similar to this and they've kind of put it like that. And then they took this piece and kind of put it like that. So this piece here, I cut it to be 4 1/2. Our card's 5 1/2. So let's make this 5. Oh, I'm losing things. I gotta pick that up because the other day I lost it. Okay, so I suspect they kind of went like that, and then they've gone like this, and now we're gonna do some stamping, and we're also gonna do some die cutting. Okay, so they just used one edge of the fence, they being the Stampin' Up! Concept artists. It looks like they also, and this is fun, they used this guy. There's a stamp of this guy. Let's find the stamps. So, oh, no, not quite. This we have, okay. So we're gonna use all of these. We're gonna use this, so I can show you how they got the fence. And we're gonna use this. And we're gonna need a green, but let's worry about that in a second. Okay, so we need a scrap of paper. We need this. We are going to use, let's see, I'm trying to just think what color browns are in here. None. Well, that's interesting. And cinnamon cider, though, is what they have used in the embellishments. So I'm going to use cinnamon cider. And I'm going to stamp this. Okay, this is going to be our fence. So then we're going to take the fence and, okay, I'm going to stamp it again because I don't want only part of my fence. So I'm going to take this and just overlap it. Oops. There we go. And that way we can die cut, and we can die cut across this way, or we can die cut across this way. Okay. So I'm just gonna put it on here because we're gonna die cut everything at once. I have the oldest, most warped plates ever. Okay, they have also die cut this. And I see now that they die cut it out of, I'm just trying to find which pattern they used. I think they used this one. And they sort of did it in here so it's kind of got the different shades of green. I hate to die cut like in the middle of this piece of paper because you can see how pretty the back is. But you know what? We're gonna do it, and we're just gonna make it work. Because if I end up doing that, how much paper am I leaving to use the other side? I'm still leaving 3 inches. It's doable. It's doable. I should maybe go right over to the edge. At least. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put that on my plate as well. And the other thing I want to die cut is, okay, I had it here because I knew I wanted to use it. Oops, this is why you should only be so prepared. Oh, here it is. This die is the other one that they did. And they didn't use this DSP, but because I have it left over, it's very pretty though, hey? I'm going to do this. And I don't want it to be too moody. I'm just trying to think where I kind of want this to be. Okay, so I'm gonna go like that. Okay, so stay with me. We're gonna stamp this too. I just need to die cut these pieces. So I'm just off to the side because now that I've set it up, if I lift it, everything's gonna move. So you're like, oh my gosh, come on. I know. All right, so we've got our fence and we've got this little piece. And now we are going to do this piece. And then we're gonna do a little bit of stamping and we're gonna put this together. All right, so there's that. All these pieces. So this is paper you would never be throwing out. You would keep all of your scraps because they're gonna be awesome. Okay, punch out those little bits. There's our little fence. So that's a clever way, in case you're looking at the catalog and thinking, how are they getting that fence? They are stamping that image and then cutting the fence out of it. Okay, so I'm just referring back to the image on the catalog. And it's gonna roughly go so they sort of have that like that, and then they have this like this. They have this guy. They must have cut off some of the fence. Oh, they've stamped. I see what they've done. Okay. So they have taken this stamp and stamped it twice. So we are going to stamp it in, I want to stamp it in soft suede. And I'm going to stamp it in garden green. So I'm going to stamp it in soft suede first. I like soft suede because it's kind of got a gold feel to it. So I'm just gonna stamp this like that. Then I'm gonna clean this. And then we are going to imagine if we are casing their card. So they had this now kind of like that, excuse me. And then this bit is down here, sort of like this. But what they have done is stamped this again. On the bottom of here. Just trying to imagine where it's going to line up. Like that. That actually looks really pretty against that blue, that garden green. All right, and so we are gonna kind of put this together. So I think they must have cut off some of the fence. But if I'm just gonna show you what I meant with the fence. So what I was getting at, and I'm just gonna show you on my silicone mat. So if you wanna make your fence look like, I have it here, where it's sticking up, you put liquid glue down each side, and then place your fence, and then squeeze it up. And then just apply pressure and see how then it dries, squeezed like that. Okay, so that is that trick, how I did that on that card. We don't want to do that here though. So So here I'm actually going to put some adhesive in the middle. I'm still not going to put it on every fence post. We don't need to do that. But I'm going to create a little bit of texture there. I'm going to bump it up a little. Okay. And then this is going to go along the bottom. So I'm going to cut the fence off. And in the card, in the catalog, they used this ribbon. So you can see I haven't played with this at all. I haven't opened it. I was concentrating on the Valentines, the sweet conversations, and then I was concentrating on the things I needed to get ready for stamp camp. So that was Abstract Beauty. Also concentrating on the rainbows because I wanted people to grab that DSP, the free celebration stuff, before it possibly they ran out. Okay, so the concept artist for Stampin' Up! Did something like this with the ribbon. So I'm just gonna cut it off there. So this is just a nice cotton ribbon. All right. So what I'm gonna do is just put a little bit of adhesive. And then we're gonna just roll the ribbon back. So we're gonna have it stick out. Okay. And then this guy, and then at band camp. So that's gonna go on there like that. Now we can kind of adjust the ribbon. And this guy, oh yeah, perfect. Okay, I am gonna put some adhesive on here. I hear my husband's phone going, which, oh, I was gonna say it means he's on call, but maybe it's not his phone. Okay, so we've got that. I'm just trying to decide if I want to use dimensionals or not on this. I don't think so. Gonna get out the ribbon scissors. So we're going to put adhesive on the back of this guy. we are going to add it to our card front now that I've smeared half the adhesive somewhere else. I promise you folks, I actually, you know, thought this out in advance. Even though now it seems like I totally didn't. I did. Our dies. This is then going to be like this. This is going to be on here kind of like this. So it's a very simple card. We need a greeting. So our choices are thinking of you, thanks for everything, wishing you so much happiness, breathe, relax, and enjoy your day. So I think we will go with the thinking of you, which is what they had done in the sample that we are casing. And it looks to me like it's stamped in Misty Moonlight. So sad this color is going to be retiring. So if you love this color, make sure you have the paper, the ink, any ribbons, embellishments, a re-inker, because once it's gone, it's gone. All right, I'm gonna stamp this once and see how straight it actually is. Okay, it's actually straight when I hold it that way. So always a good idea with your red rubber to, especially when it's words, stamp it somewhere first to make sure it's actually going to come out like you think it is. Because nothing will be worse if I stamp that on there and then it's crooked, right? So, all right. Now let's put all this together. So if you are tuning in late and you decide not to go back to the beginning, we are casing. This is like a straight up out of the catalog case. I have used slightly different DSP, I think, in the end. Just gonna fix my fold here because it's not lining up perfectly. And then I'm just gonna show you something else that we did. And I'm gonna just show you another idea I have. You know, if you've tuned into me before, it's one of my classic things. I like to show you, hey, I don't have this as a card yet, but this is gonna be awesome. Now, we could pop this piece up. I don't think they did. Just like I don't think they used watercolor, like I said. And, you know, or we could just leave it down. Sometimes when I can't decide, I get like, you know, a package of dimensionals and then I put them underneath and decide if I like it raised off or not. I think we're just gonna stick with it down. And because this is watercolor paper, it's thicker. So I'm okay to use the adhesive, this liquid glue. Otherwise I don't really like this liquid glue on basic white because I feel like you can see it. Okay, this is really simple, right? But it's just to show you that you could, this paper is gorgeous, you die cut some of it, you stamp a little bit of it, you cut it out, and you can have this beautiful card. This would be a great sympathy card to give to a man. So you have somebody, you have a good male friend who's lost a parent or a spouse or, you know, and then this would be perfect. Okay, these are these super cute embellishments that look like pebbles. So in the catalog, they've placed them here to hide that. And they've used one of each. So they have taken like this one, the cinnamon cider, which is why we use the cinnamon on our fence. And then they took one of these gray guys. And kind of put it there. And they just kind of stacked these. I think they actually used a smaller one, but that's okay. I'm having fun playing with these. And then, so we're trying to cover up that little bit of fence. These are adorable. You can even sort of layer them a little bit on top of each other. Like that. And then they also put a couple over here. So it looks like they took a little, I don't know if we have enough room. I probably put my sentiment a little bit too high, but they did this. I might kind of put it right, I'm gonna put it quite high actually. And then they took one of these light gray guys. Okay, so pretty simple, right? But I think it would be lovely to give someone who either likes a sort of simpler nature kind of feel, who doesn't like anything too flowery, or like I said, you have a male friend, parent, relative who you need a card for. Okay, so back to this. So like I said, this was from earlier today. I was working on this. If we wanted to just mount it on white, I kind of actually like the idea of mounting it on old olive. I don't know why. I just feel like it would look nice on old olive. So if we were to bring that in, right, this would get mounted on there. Yeah, I think that's gonna look nice. Now, we're gonna need a greeting for this too, and then it's kind of like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? So I saw one of my other friends the other day using this set, and they stamped a greeting and then they fussy cut it. To me, this, let's see, what kind of greeting would we put on here? Maybe like just right underneath the mountain, wishing you so much happiness. Trying to think. Thanks for everything. I don't really think it's that kind of a card. I think maybe that one. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to just show you, we're not gonna make it because we don't have time. But what I think would be a really neat idea, so if you look here in the catalog, they've taken a piece of DSP and they've cut it in 3, they've stamped all over it. So that's a beauty, like stamped, they did a die cut, boom, they put a greeting, you're done. And then they cut it into panels. So what I thought would maybe make a really neat card would be to take, I think I thought this DSP. Cut this DSP, make it into panels, but you'd have like a mountain panel, a sky panel. So we'd have to do it this way. So our card is only, I guess we could do it this way. But I was thinking if you did kind of like cut it here. So this is one panel, that would be your mountains. And then this would be another panel. So how thick is that? I just want to kind of cut them roughly the same. So it's 2 3/4. Well, maybe the sky one is the skinniest. So we have this one that we, you know, stamp the birds on. That's our sky. That's going to be our mountains. And then this one is going to be the water. So I'm going to make a 3-paneled card using that DSP. So I just wanted to share with you that idea. I'm going to make that tomorrow and then I will post it. So let's just finish up with this. So if we put that on there, so let's actually do that, shall we? I'm definitely going to use this adhesive because I need to line it up exactly, because it is exactly the card size. So I'm going to open it so I can put it right up to the crease. And then I'm going to turn it over and make sure, there we go. Then I'm going to apply pressure. So there is that card front. And then, like I said, we are going to, and you know what? I think we're actually going to stamp on the same thing we did the fence. And I'm going to do it in Evening Evergreen. Oh, wow, that would be a big mistake, wouldn't it? That would have been a bit of a surprise. All right. And I'm gonna fussy cut it, but I'm gonna probably keep the top edge fairly straight. Can you see how much my desk has just like shrunk? No, I guess you can't. Okay, so I'm gonna cut along the top here. And then I'm gonna fussy cut down here. Okay, my apologies. I do really try to keep these to half-hour videos, but I've basically shown you 2 projects, so hopefully you don't mind that this has been a little bit longer. If you don't already have this suite of products, now that you have seen it, would it be something you would add to your list? I'd be curious to know. Or would you at least add the paper, let's say, even if you didn't add the bundle? I would love to know that. So if you want to comment, that would be great, just so I can kind of get a sense. If I was to design a class to go with this bundle, so you would need to purchase the stamp set and the dies, but the class would include like half a pack of the paper and a portion of the ribbon. Would that be something that would be of interest to you? Of course, you would have to live in Canada. But even if you don't, I guess I'd be curious just to know if that would be of interest to you. It's so weird now, even though I've got it, I see a hand up, Janet, says, me, pick me. So is that a pick me, I plan to order this, or a pick me, I'd be interested in that class? I can't remember where you live, Janet. I feel like maybe you are Lower Mainland. I do not have the best eye when it comes to a straight edge, but okay. So now I think we just kind of put that there. This we are gonna need to pop up because otherwise you're just not even gonna see it. So I'm actually just going to use the edge of my dimensionals here. And place it along there. This is the only thing I would say I haven't totally figured out with this paper because it's so detailed, where you put the greeting necessarily without it taking away from the rest of your picture. I'm trying to even put it so you guys can see, but it's like everywhere I place it, my hand's in the way. So I was thinking there. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think it looks okay there? I think it has to be on that side because we have to offset that I've put two things on this side. But there we go. Okay, so there you go. I've shown you two different things. Both of them are based on samples out of the catalog, both based on samples on page 42. This one is almost exactly what you see there. This one I've done a little bit of improv, but not a ton. And then, like I said, I have an idea for a panel card based on this DSP, so I'm going to do that. But I mean, honestly, just casing the ones in the catalog, so gorgeous. We showed how to cut out the fence. I showed you using the fence with this DSP. I showed you how to glue the fence so you pop it up. That's it, that's all. So have an excellent evening. I will have these cards posted and I will keep working with this suite. I will keep posting cards and I'm just gonna put together that idea for what a class to go would look like and get that posted. All right, thanks guys, have a great night.